What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. All right, so you guys saw the title, so you know what we're going to talk about. Okay, we're talking about stuff that has not been confirmed, but people are believing that it's being confirmed. And it's very important that that not happen, and I'll explain to you in the end of the video why. But that's what we're going to talk about today. But first off, on this channel, we talk about personal finance for travelers. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you can get future updates on my videos. All right, so I've had multiple people ask me this question or make a statement. And that is, I heard the next round of stimulus checks has been confirmed. Or I heard the next stimulus package has been confirmed. Or a date has been confirmed for us to receive our second stimulus check. Or a date has been confirmed for the signing of the next stimulus check. Or the amount, or the 40,000. I hear that it's confirmed that the 40,000 or less is going to be the new criteria. And none of this is true. Okay, none of it. So we're going to talk about the stimulus check and stimulus package and why it's not confirmed. But I want to back up and go through the whole process first, so you know who the key players are and what to expect. So let's talk about some of the key players. So you have key players. You also have people on the sidelines cheering. Okay, so you have the cheerleaders and you have the players. All right, so let's talk about some of the players right now. So one of the players, Mitch McConnell, he's a majority leader in the Senate. He's a player. You have Chuck Schumer. He's the minority leader in the Senate. He's also a player. You have Nancy Pelosi. She's the Speaker of the House. She's a player. You have Kevin McCarthy. He's the minority leader in the House, and he's a player. So those are the main players in the game. Now you have cheerleaders. Okay, you have Stephen Mnuchin. He is a cheerleader. You have President Trump. He is a cheerleader. You have Jerome Powell, the Fed chair. He's a cheerleader. These people do not legislate. All they do is try to influence. Okay, so they're trying to influence the legislators. They're trying to influence Congress, the Senate, and the House. So that's their role. Okay, so what has happened so far? So far, on May 15th, the House approved the HEROES Act. They sent it over to the Senate. It's been sitting there for 2 months. Nothing has been approved in the Senate. So we have an approval in the House, but not the Senate. And the way it works is you need to have approval in the House, approval in the Senate, and then signed off by the president. That's the way we get a bill, okay? That has not happened. And so right now we're looking at a situation where since the ball is in the Senate's court, they're going to have to decide what they want to do. Now they can go with the HEROES Act and take out the things that they don't want and add the things that they do and then send it back over to the House, or they can create their own bill. And it looks like right now they're leaning more towards creating their own bill. They want that bill to be less than $1 trillion. That's the demands that they've put out so far. Okay. So when it comes to what's going to be in the bill, we don't know yet. We know what the talk has been. We've heard from the White House. The White House says that they want another round of stimulus checks. Okay. The president wants another round of stimulus checks. Stephen Mnuchin is open to another round of stimulus checks. Mitch McConnell is also open to another round of stimulus checks. And there's a difference between wanting and being open to. If I'm open to something, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen. That just means that I'm open to the possibilities of this happening. And so there's that. So we know that that's what's been talked about right now. Now, as far as anything being confirmed, the president doesn't have the power to confirm anything. Stephen Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, does not have any power to approve anything or to confirm anything. So these people, as I stated, they're cheerleaders. They're not confirming anything. Okay? Mitch McConnell, on his own, alone, cannot confirm anything. Now, he has the power to vote, but he does not have the absolute power to confirm something or deny it. Same as Nancy Pelosi, she does not have the absolute power to confirm a bill or deny it. And so there's a long process that's going to happen in the coming weeks. And so you're going to want to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be giving you this information the way that it should be given. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that stuff's confirmed that's not confirmed. I'm going to be telling you along the way, this is what's happening. And so when we're looking at where we are right now, July 20th is an important date. That's when the Senate returns. So the Senate returns on the 20th. July 21st, the House returns. They will start their formal negotiations. So who's going to be in that room? You're going to have Mitch McConnell. You're going to have Nancy Pelosi. You're going to have Chuck Schumer. You're going to have Kevin McCarthy. You're going to have Stephen Mnuchin, because Stephen Mnuchin seems to be the one that's speaking on behalf of the White House. And then you're also going to have the president playing a role. Now, like I said, you have players and you have people who are on the sideline cheering. So they will be letting their voice be heard. The White House will be letting their voice be heard because they have influence right now over the Senate, because Mitch McConnell is the majority leader. So Mitch McConnell wants to please the president. So you're going to have some influence there, but you're not going to have the votes. The president's not going to be able to vote on this. Stephen Mnuchin is not going to be able to vote on this. And so that's where we are right now. That's what will happen in a week and a half. They're going to sit down. They're going to negotiate. And what's going to happen is Mitch McConnell is going to need to find out. Now, he has leaders in the Senate. He's going to need to find out where everyone is as far as proposals and things like that. Chuck Schumer, the same thing. He's going to have to find out where the Democrats are in the Senate, what proposals they have to put forward. And then they're going to try to work something out. They're going to talk with the House. They're going to talk with the Speaker of the House and say, hey, this is what we want. Can you get this through? And at that point, that's when we're going to start seeing some stuff happen. We'll see the different proposals come out. I'm surprised we haven't heard much more as far as different proposals, but we're going to start hearing and seeing a lot of this stuff. And so that's where we'll be. So once they meet and they negotiate this, then the Senate is going to have to approve their bill. And then they're going to send it over to the House. The House is going to have to look at it. They're going to have to approve it. And then they're going to send it to the president. And then the president can sign it. And so I know what you're saying. Well, if the president is going to sign off on this, then that means that he's the one, he has power too. Well, that's not necessarily true. He has some power, but when it comes to legislation, the Congress people have more power than him. Okay, because what can happen is, and there's one thing that's been talked about, payroll tax cut. President Trump wants a payroll tax cut in the next bill. He says it's pretty much a red line that he's drawing. If it's not in there, then he's not gonna sign off on it. Well, that doesn't matter if he doesn't want to sign off on it, because he can approve it or he can veto it. If he vetoes it, then guess what? It comes back to Congress, both chambers. And if they approve it with a 2/3 vote, they override his veto. So Congress, because we have a balance of government, Congress has a right to override the presidential veto. And it doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. And I'm just telling you because I want you to understand that there's a difference between the players, the legislators, and the president when it comes to situations like this. And so at this point, that's where we are. Now, as far as stimulus checks, we've been hearing people talk, White House saying, yes, we want this, or no, we don't want that, or it has to be 1 trillion, all that. None of this stuff can be confirmed. We cannot confirm a stimulus check until it's actually gone through the process. And if you look at if you want to get really political and you look at the language of a confirmation, that's an executive act. That's not just talking. That's not just me saying, yeah, you know what, I'm for it or I'm against it. That's actually acting on it. Okay, that's being on record saying, this is the way I vote on a certain thing. Now that becomes a confirmation. But prior to that, it's just talk. And you can go back on your word because it's just talk. And that's why a lot of politicians will say, I'm open to something, instead of saying definitively, I want something. Because if I say I'm open to it, I can back out and say, you know what? I was open to a $1,200 stimulus check, but I'm not open to a $2,000 stimulus check. So if it's a $2,000 stimulus check, I'm not for it, and I'm not voting for it. So that's where we are. You can't confirm something if you're just saying, I'm open to it, or if you want something. That's just you saying you want something. That's not a confirmation. Now, the timeline, the dates, we're not going to know dates. The White House, I know they came out last week and said this is when we want it to happen so we can get it signed off before the August recess. But guess what? We don't know what's going to happen in the negotiations. And there could be a situation where there's a stalemate or something doesn't happen and it gets pushed into September. That could happen. So we can't confirm a date because we don't know. We can't confirm a date when people will start receiving stimulus checks because we don't know. And so that's off the table. There's no confirmation when it comes to a date. The other thing, when it comes to the amount, right now, Mitch McConnell's saying he doesn't want it to go over $1 trillion. Okay, but that's just what he wants. You have Nancy Pelosi. She has her idea of how much it's going to cost. And they're going to have to come to some type of an agreement. So just because Mitch McConnell's saying he doesn't want it to go over $1 trillion doesn't mean it's not going to go over $1 trillion. Okay, it hasn't been confirmed at $1 trillion, or I had someone in the comment section say, no, it was confirmed at $1.3 trillion. No one knows that. That's just talk, like I said. Until it's on paper, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so the last thing, the 40,000. So we heard Mitch McConnell say 40,000 or less. He put that number out there. And I've heard people talk about this has been confirmed at 40,000 or less. It's going to change. It's not going to be 75,000 anymore. No, that is a starting point. That's what he's just putting out there. They haven't even discussed it yet. He's just saying that the people hit the hardest make 40,000, and that's just in his mind, right? So there hasn't been anything confirmed. We don't have a situation where they're starting to change the criteria and all that right now. That has not happened and will not happen until something has been confirmed through the Senate, through the House, and signed off by the president. Okay, so that's the way that goes. Now, why is this important? Like, who cares if you say confirmed or want or open to? Like, who cares? And I'm gonna go back to my old campaign days when I used to help out in campaigns. And the last thing that you want, if you have a candidate running for office, is for people to think they're a lock to win. Because if people think they're a lock to win, guess what happens on election day? They don't turn out. And if they don't turn out, you could lose. So you never want to be in a situation where people think, oh, it's a done deal. It's confirmed. It's confirmed that this person's going to win. Because if that's the case, you're going to have a lot of people that aren't going to show up to vote. Now, some of those people might be voting for the other person, which is good for you, but some of those people might be voting for you. And so you want people to turn out. So you don't want people to think that it's going to be a landslide victory for you. So you want to keep putting that message out there. And you want to keep, you don't want to show that or to feel that, oh, okay, yeah, we have this in the bag. Because that's the worst thing that you can do. And you can end up in a situation where now you lose a race only because people they didn't turn up. And so in this situation, if people are starting to get the impression that things have been confirmed, stimulus check has been confirmed, the next stimulus package has been confirmed, then guess what? They're going to tune out. And if they tune out, things can change within now and the time that the Senate goes and creates their bill and all that. Things can change. And you better believe senators do listen to what the public is saying when it comes to a lot of this stuff. They'll listen if you tell them something. But if you don't tell them anything because you're tuned out, then guess what? They're thinking, okay, yeah, everything is fine. A good example is the 40,000 or less. Do you think Mitch McConnell just said that by accident? No, he didn't say it by accident. He said that because he wants to gauge the public. Is the public okay with this? Are they up in arms with this 40,000 or less? Are we hearing anything about this as far as from the public? Are they calling his office and saying that they're opposed to this? Because if they're not, then he's thinking, okay, you know what? That 40,000, that's a good number. Let's go with that. And so that's why I'm saying when it comes down to it, if you're saying that something's been confirmed or it's already a done deal, guess what? People will tune out or they will accept it. And if people accept the 40,000 or less, then they're going to run with the 40,000 or less because that's what they want. That's why they're teasing it out there. Now, if people are up in arms and they're starting to say, no, this is not 40,000. Come on, I make 75,000 and I'm struggling and this is how I'm struggling. Then guess what? They're going to think, okay, yeah, you know what? I'm getting calls from my district and they're telling me that 75,000 was good and dropping down to 40,000 would be crazy and all this. So that's why this is important for us to use the right words when we talk about what's going to happen next. So the next few weeks is going to be a process, and I'm going to be leading you through the whole way. So you're going to want to subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell notification so you'll get notified. I put out videos every day, so we'll be talking about this stuff. Now, it's not all going to be good news. It's not all good news. Sometimes it's good news, sometimes it's bad news. But I'm going to let you know that way if you want to take action, you can take action. You can contact your Congress people and talk to them about it. At least send them an email, let them know how you feel about certain things. I have all that information in the description. So if you want to contact your Congress people, you can. There's a switchboard there. Just let them know who your congressperson is, and they'll patch you through to their office. So that's all I have for you guys. What do you guys think about this? Do you think we should be really focused on what's going on? And as far as the confirmations, how do you feel about that? Do you think things have been confirmed? What have you heard? Have you heard things have been confirmed? I'm going to give you one challenge. Anyone that you hear that says something's been confirmed, let's say you go to a news article. Every news article now, they have the comments section. So if you go to a news article and you see it, it says that something's been confirmed, ask them that question. How has it been confirmed? If you see a video, ask them that question in the comment section. How has it been confirmed? I guarantee you nobody's going to be able to say, yeah, it's been confirmed, and this is why. Because nothing at this point has been confirmed. Okay, it's all just what they want or what they're open to. That's it. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Remember, it's your money, people. It's your money.